This is a brand new lesson for us, angles in standard position. You haven't seen this in grade 9 or grade 10. This is a grade 11 concept. So we are going to start working with angles and the coordinate plane in order to understand the basis concepts to be able to then graph trigonometric functions. That's where we're going. So a standard position, first thing you have to understand is what is standard position. So if we're looking at the coordinate plane, our standard position happens when we always base off our first quadrant. So let's review how to name our quadrants. This is quadrant 1. This is quadrant 2. We go counterclockwise because nothing in math works out nicely for you. It's all made to make you confused. And then quadrant 4. So our x values and our y values in quadrant 1 are both positive. Our x values are negative. Our y values are positive in quadrant 2. Our x values are negative and our y values are negative in quadrant 3. And then our x values are positive, y values negative in quadrant 4. So if we go 100% of the way around here, we create a circle. And the circle has 360 degrees in it. So our axes can be broken up into the following. 0 degrees. This would be 90 degrees. All the way to here, a straight line is 180 degrees. And then when you go to here, it would be 270 degrees. And then you come all the way back around to the circle at 360 degrees. So that's how we're going to be applying angles going around our coordinate system. So angles can exist anywhere in the coordinate plane where two rays share a common vertex. The vertex is at the origin and the initial side lies along the x-axis all of the time. So you are always going to move from this side. This is always going to be the direction that you're going when we're calculating some of our terminal arm stuff. There are examples where we do go negative, but they're very specific. Okay? And the angle is said to be in standard position. So you've got your initial side and then your terminal arm. I always call this terminal arm. So I'll say, what quadrant is your terminal arm in, based on how many degrees we had to move. Some angles in standard position are shown below. So this would be your terminal arm is in the first quadrant, and the angle, there's a specific name for this. We're not going to get to that just at this second. Your angle is 50. Now, if you're going negative, that means you go from your initial arm on the x-axis and you drop 130 degrees. So you go clockwise, which is against what we do with this trig stuff. So that's why it's a negative. And it still brings you into the third quadrant, 1, 2, 3, but we're just going negative. Now, let's start in standard position. Let's go 390. That means we go 360 and then we add another 30 to get to the 390. So we've gone all the way around and then up a little bit. So review quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the direction of going of movement, and that's your terminal arm. I use terminal arm. Okay. New. Right now we're just making angles go in circles. So something that is coterminal. Co means like if you're cooperative, if you're a co-op that you live in, it's where people work together. So coterminal angles have something in common. And the fact is that both of coterminal angles work together to make a full circle. So if the angle measured by the amount of rotation from an initial side to the terminal side. The angle is the measure. Yeah, I knew that. If measured in a counterclockwise direction, the measurement is, we call this, it's positive. I'm not there yet. I want to give them names, and I'm not there yet. Don't jump the gun, shoot. If measured in a clockwise direction, the measurement is negative. Whoops. Sorry about that. So if we look at this diagram, we've got our positive angle that goes from the initial arm to the terminal arm, and it's a measure of 120 degrees. And then the negative angle, which is the coterminal angle, is like, well, what would happen if we went this way in order to find where the angle was? Well, the coterminal angle is 240 degrees. Negative 240 because it's going clockwise. So if two angles are in standard position, this is standard position right now, they have the same terminal side. They are called coterminal angles. So standard position, here's my angle of 120. Here's another angle of negative 240. These are coterminal angles because if we were to find the difference between these numbers, it is 360 degrees. Okay? Any angle is coterminal with theta, so that you would put in this number, plus 360 times, there's another number that goes in there, and that's how many times you're rotating. We're going to go through questions to talk about this.